Hello there and Assalamu alaikum. In today's video we're going to learn a few tips and tricks about Adobe Illustrator, something that can really make you more efficient as a graphic designer. So let's get started. We're going to start with the rectangle tool, and let me change the stroke to 10 pixels. And let me also draw a rectangle. Okay, now for some reason when I drag it down, you'll find that the stroke weight has also thinned down, which is good in a way as it is trying to maintain the scale ratios. But what if I want it to remain intact? What if my design demands it to remain intact even in that tiny size I drag it down to? Let's do Command Z on a Mac or Control Z on a PC to undo it. Now deselect it by clicking anywhere on the screen. On the right in the Properties panel, you'll find Scale, Strokes and Effects option is checked. All you need to do is uncheck it and then select your rectangle and drag it down. You'll find the stroke weight remains unchanged now. Alright, let's move on to the Eraser tool. This is a tool that a lot of people ignore for whatever reasons, but it has its functions and it performs them pretty well. So before we begin, let me make another copy of this rectangle by holding Option on a Mac or Alt on a PC, and let me press / to change fill to none, just because I feel like doing it. Now with the right rectangle selected, when I grab the eraser tool and try to use the eraser on the left rectangle, it won't erase. So the point to remember here is that the eraser tool can only erase the shape that is selected. So let's run it on the selected rectangle, which is on the right, and you will find it splitting the rectangle into two. Not just that, it has also closed the two shapes it has created. When you press Option on a Mac or Alt on a PC and then run it on the rectangle, it creates a straight line that can be extended further to make it a rectangle depending upon how big of an area you choose to erase. And when you press Shift and Option on a Mac or Shift and Alt on a PC and then run it on the rectangle, it erases it with same proportions horizontally and vertically. So you can drag to select the area you want erased. Moving on, let's talk about the Scissors tool, which splits a path at an anchor point or on a line segment to create an open path. So with my rectangle selected, if I click once on the path here, you can find the notification on top that says Shape Expanded. Now click once again at the corner, so this path has been disconnected from the rectangle. Now using my Direct Selection tool, I can always pick it apart. Time to move on to the Knife tool. The Knife tool works in a similar way to the Eraser tool. However, there is a difference between the two. The Eraser tool makes areas disappear. The Knife tool cuts a path, but unlike the Eraser tool, doesn't make any areas disappear. So I can just grab the Knife tool and make a line, and it will create two closed shapes. Holding Option on a Mac or Alt on a PC will help us make a straight cut. The next one is quite an interesting one, and something a lot of people may not even be aware of. With the rectangle selected, if I go to my paintbrush tool and carelessly paint on top of it like this, you'll find that I even painted outside the rectangle, although I did it purposely for this tutorial. However, if you get a situation like this wherein you need to contain your brush skills within the shape, all you need to do is, with the shape selected, click on this small button that says Draw Inside. And the moment you click on it, you'll find your shape will have these perforated lines around. And now when you pick the brush and go all Picasso on the shape, all the brush strokes outside of the shape will not be registered. And I think it's a fantastic tool which a lot of us don't really utilize much. The next one is about repeating the last command or transform again. So if I hold Shift Option on a Mac or Shift Alt on a PC and drag this rectangle to the right once, and I need another rectangle right next to the one I just copied, or even more, I can't be using Option or Alt to keep copying it. It will definitely copy the rectangle, but the spacing between the rectangles will be uneven. So once I have made a copy, I can always use Command D on a Mac or Control D on a PC, and it will repeat the last command, and you can make multiple copies without worrying about the spacing in between. It's basically the transform again option that you can find under Object and Transform. The last one for today is the Live Paint Bucket tool. We are all so used to the Shape Builder tool that we completely ignore the Live Paint Bucket tool. In fact, even I got introduced to this tool not long ago, so let me make a few rectangles here, and let me grab the Live Paint Bucket tool, which is sitting right under the Shape Builder tool. Let's have all our rectangles selected, and then using the Live Paint Bucket tool, we can easily pick colors from the color palette and color these rectangles. We can even pick colors from images. So I have this image here that has a lot of colors, so I can pick colors from here using Option on a Mac or Alt on a PC. The moment we press Option or Alt, the tool will change itself into an eyedropper, using which you can sample colors by clicking on them once, and then you can slap it onto your rectangles or whatever have you. It's a perfect tool for illustrations, line art, work, etc. Okay, so that concludes our session today. If you've enjoyed the video, please like, share and subscribe to my channel. Until we meet again, goodbye and thanks for watching.